Hi, my name is Giovanna Aguilar and I'm with Comprehensive Grants Management, and I'm here to share some tips that work for me and hopefully will help you as you prepare for your grant writing process. It could be a very daunting experience, especially if you're doing it for the first time, whether or not you're actually working with someone or an organization like ours or independently. And these are my, this is really about getting yourself comfortable and developing a timeline and a workflow that works for you. And I look at time, folders, drafts, feedback, and revisions. Simply for time, make sure that you're giving yourself enough time so that you can sit down and start tackling whether it's a narrative that you have to prepare for, or if it's a full different sections to a grant that require a lot of writing and a lot of your input. And if you're the lead grant writer, one of the things, if you're having a hard time in getting started, which is usually the case for so many of us, just start with the basics. Who, what, where, why, and how. What is the grant looking for? And who's involved? What is involved? And the rationale or the purpose of the grant. So you're answering all those 5 basic questions. And even if it's just simple bullets, that will help you get started. Also, for time, it also is about making sure that you're going to be able to find your documents very easily, because sometimes you're working from 1, 2, or 3 different drafts, and it's going to be hard to figure out which one was the latest. So here's another tip. We have the time. Now we're moving on to folders. Create a folder that has that I labeled them drafts. And the way I start is with a naming convention that I can remember and can be consistent throughout all of the grants that I work with. That's usually the way I start, is with the grant name or the grant acronym. For example, right now there's a big, the ROS grant is available federally. So I might do ROS, the name of the project, and just underscore draft. That way I know that that is the draft. And as simple as it may sound, it actually is very helpful. Now, of course, a draft means that you will need to get feedback, hopefully from someone. You either are working with an internal team to provide quality assurance. That means looking over your document, make sure that you have someone review for spelling, for data that might be, sometimes I have the habit of transposing numbers, so you might like to also have someone review the data that you're including aside from the spelling or any grammatical things that you might want to be looked at in your document. And then what I would also suggest, so it's easy to pull, is when you send your documents, ask the person who is reviewing your documents or giving you any input, whether it's comprehensive in terms of adding more to the narrative that you've prepared, or just a simple revision, quick quality assurance look over. Ask them to put their initials at the end of the document, so that way you know that that draft that you are going to be receiving, you know what it is, and you know that then you can rename it once you've received it from that person, made all the revisions that they are either suggesting or have cleaned up, and then you have something that particular document that then you can save as another draft, and perhaps then you would do a revision as a draft 2 and a date. And essentially the purpose of having these folders organized, a naming convention that you remember, and a system that works for you and your internal team for feedback, is that it will help you when hopefully last minute you're not there, but in the event that you need to pull any document last minute, when, let's just say, for whatever reason, you need to turn in the grant application and you need to locate the most recent document that you've been working on. You want to make sure that you're pulling the correct one with the most recent information, so you're not overexpending yourself, and so that it's organized and it's a methodological way of really making sure that you have quality assurance also. And it saves time. It helps you get organized in your head. We all need that. And it also lets you know that you have someone else supporting you to look at your document. So as I mentioned, hopefully this helps you. It works for me. Time, folders, drafts, feedback, and revisions. And this is my weekly tips for this week. Thank you.